Maybe you think it's just something for hipsters or actually a really useful tool. For me personally, I've always been a big fan of notebooks. We're in a world where things are getting more digital by the day. AI is absolutely out of control and there are countless apps all fighting to get your attention. But not every aspect of your life needs to evolve around technology, and I feel like a lot of us forget that from time to time. So maybe it's time to get back to basics and put pen to paper. Or pencil. So when it comes to small notepads, I tend to use Field Notes. I just think they're really good quality, they're pretty cool, and I appreciate nice things. And I rate the brand so highly that I even shot a little commercial for them a couple of years ago, showing lots of different ways how you can use the notebooks. However, I do have some unbranded notebooks, which of course are a bit more affordable. They typically have about 48 pages in them, so you can't get too carried away, but I like them because they're small enough to put in your pocket and of course in your bag. For me, notebooks are something that I can use in so many different ways. That could be planning a video, keeping track of my goals, or just making a simple to-do list. For me, the notebook is great for ideas, journaling, anything basically from creative stuff to cool quotes that I'd like to remember. You can even dedicate one to the gym and use it to help track your progress. In terms of the humble daily to-do list, when this is on paper in front of us, it can actually act as a really good productivity tool. At the end of the day, we are simple creatures and we like winning. Every time we tick off a goal or something from the to-do list, it feels good. It's a little win that makes you want to do even more. Have you ever pulled out your phone to do one specific thing, only to find yourself 10 minutes later staring into a void of pointless short-form content? It happens all the time, but I'll put my money on the fact that it's going to be a lot harder to waste 10 minutes for no good reason if your eyes are instead looking at blank pages of paper as opposed to a phone screen. For me personally, whenever I get into writing a note or doing a sketch in one of my notebooks, I feel like I get into a really good level of focus, and it kind of feels like being in a flow state. Comparing that to how I feel after I finally put my phone down after doom scrolling, and yeah, it's a bit nicer. A small notebook is probably the perfect tool for spontaneous brainstorming and creativity. It encourages quick sketches without the pressure of loading up something digital. This way you're able to capture your random ideas and moments of inspiration that might otherwise get forgotten. And because they're so small, they fit into your pocket and your bag, you can then take them with you and use them in cafes when you're out or on the train or even on a flight. I don't know about you, but sometimes my hand can't even draw or write at the speed that my mind is operating at, so I end up coming out with some really wild doodles and handwriting that even I struggled to make out. Honestly though, I do think there is something quite charming about that, and it is really nice to look back on these old notes and you're trying to make out what you were thinking at that particular time. Funnily enough, when I look back at a lot of my old notes, I can even remember where I was when I wrote it down and the stage of life that I was at the time, and I don't really think that you get that when everything is online. So over the years, I've definitely created a lot of online documents using things like Google Docs. Some of them I'll go back and update, but most are lost in the ether, never to be seen again. On the flip side, my paper notebooks stay reasonably close and I'm frequently reminded of the ideas that I've come up with and the plans that I've made. And writing things down by hand has been shown to improve memory retention and understanding. It forces you to process information more deeply, making it easier to recall later. When you write in a small notebook, you're not just recording data, but you're actively engaging with it in a different way, which is really going to help you remember it as opposed to if you were to type it. If you've ever studied a language, you'll know that the most important thing that you can do is recall the information. So in the lifespan of one of these little notebooks, you actually might see these pages quite a lot, which is really going to help you to remember effectively. Okay, so I thought it'd be really interesting to grab some old notebooks from over the years and see what's actually inside them. Okay, so this one is from last year, and this is like the humble beginnings of a shot idea. And funnily enough, the shot actually ended up being really close to what I'd written down here. So yeah, it's quite cool to look back and see where that shot originated from. Right, so this one is about 4 years old, and you can see here the startings of me trying to come up with a logo for a brand. lots of different iterations going on here. I was just trying to come up with something very desperately. The logo that ended up being the one was not any of these, but it's still good memories nonetheless. Okay, so with this one, I've clearly taken it to the gym for a leg workout on the 17th of November 2022. I've recorded every set, every exercise, every weight. Yeah, I think this is just really interesting to see what I was doing at the time. Can I do better than that now? Yeah, let's not talk about that. Okay, so this one might actually be my favorite, and it's the oldest one that I've got. I actually got this in 2017 and it took me a couple of years to finish, and it has got all kinds of different things in it. But for me, it's these two pages that really stand out. On one side, I'm trying to learn a language for a place that I really love visiting, just writing down some random translations and hoping that they'll stick. And then on the other side, I'm trying to come up with YouTube video ideas. And I suppose myself in 2019 would be pretty pleased that I am actually doing it. Safe to say, I'm glad that I kept hold of this one. So as you can see, there's an infinite amount of ways that you can use these, and I genuinely do feel like they can bring you a lot of value. And it definitely does feel a bit weird just talking about the benefits of writing things on paper, but as the world changes, this is going to become reasonably uncommon. And I love good technology as much as the next person, but there's just something nice about writing on paper, and I don't think that'll ever change. Thank you for watching the video. I hope that you found some value in it. If you did, it'd be incredible if you considered subscribing to the channel, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.